Hello, one and all, and welcome back to LRNC, the second edition. This is the third race week we're going to be seeing here in LRNC, and we are in the bottom bracket, the knockout bracket, where everything is going to be decided. Teams will fall tonight. So let's see who's going to progress to the final week in that best of the rest final, and who will be knocked out here. Now, for this round. First of all, apologies for the slight stream delay. Had some issues setting up, getting into the YouTube account. Also, the lobby was quite late, but we can now get things started for the racing. We're here for Bahrain and Hungary. Two tracks, and you can see we are already into the race here for Bahrain, and so we can look to get things kicked off. The teams that are going to be disputing this division, this race, are going to be Belgium 1, England 1 and England 2, and Malta 1 and Malta 2 for this final round. Although I do believe that England 2, unfortunately, haven't quite been able to get very many drivers, and I think it's just Total P's Racing for that outfit for tonight, but we'll see what he can do if he can salvage 16 drivers on the grid up against each other. For England 1, England 2's Total P's is alongside. One to watch down there between the McLaren and the Red Bull driver, looking to end of the grid. Of course, everyone outside the top 10 is going to have that free choice, 25% race, and so alternate strategy. Probably not quite as powerful as you'd usually expect it to be, but still certainly some merit in looking to run it. And so what you're seeing here is that outside the top 10, you've got Tenkan, Sonev, and Manductinator on the soft tyres. The medium tyre runners are XL Bree, Haller, and Ryan. And so that is going to be the story ahead of tonight. And so let's look to get this all started up. XL Lando is going to lead off the lane, but pole position probably isn't particularly strong around this circuit, because you can certainly overtake probably easier here than you can at most other circuits. And so the opportunity is there for overtaking if you are a little bit further down the order, and we'll see how that is going to unfold. But Lando is certainly going to be up at the sharp end of the field. The question is, though, is he going to be able to hold on to that lead? Well, both he and Total P's are racing for England. They are in rival teams in terms of England 1 and England 2, so they're going to be gunning for the run into that first corner. We'll see how it is going to unfold. You can see as well several other teams. Then we do have, well, 5 teams do have some degree of drivers in here, and so we're going to see how things are going to unfold. Now we are looking to get towards the grid then. Also noting Malta 2 have had a decent qualifying session. We've got Michael up there. Glanza as well is looking pretty strong for that Maltese team as well. And now the rear of the grid will settle. 16 cars locked and loaded, ready to go racing here for the first of 2 races of the night. If we do actually get a start, then we are sitting on the grid, and now we did actually get it out of the way. So it's going to be Lando and Pease, the front row, running to the turn 1, going to be Adam. We build up to 5 red lights. And away for the first race of the evening. Dreadful start for Michael. He looked to be almost released later than everyone else is getting swamped from either side. Lando jumping straight into the race lead with Peace chasing him down. XL Ryan looking to run round the outside there. He's got Glanza on the inside lane running round. And Slasher, so end plates flying down there. Turn 1 as cars come together and jostle for possession. So the opening few corners of the race, and as they battle down towards turn 1, turn 4 I should say, for the first time in the Bahrain race. You can see that the Alfa Romeo of Rage getting caught up on the inside lane's got Sonev running through. There's been a contact there with Kobe in the Haas car then. We've got Leclerc 16 just joining into the race and trying to get himself back in the way then for the Maltese team. But as you can see, jostling further up the order, then Michael moving through on Glanza. 2 teammates going at it then. Rage and Epic running side by side, going in at turns 9 and 10. And looks like it is going to slow it in order then. And Slash losing places. Slash off then out of turn 10 and dropping back to the entire order. MMA Slash disaster early on, and that's going to dramatically change the race. He's out of the session altogether, unfortunately. And so I think that MMA Slash, unfortunately, will not quite be progressing further. He's going to have to try and work his way back into this race. Going to be incredibly difficult to do so, though. We've got more team swapping then, and that's it, moving past Ryan Malta. Now he's got Mad Ductinator to the inside line. Is going to sweep through up into that 13th place. Rival Maltese teams, actually the first of all, the Maltese teams running fairly solid in the order, and that's going to be 11 through 14. They're lower down the order. They're going to look to try and find a little bit more than that further down the line, and further down the road. Then you got Tin Can shaping a move to the inside of Epic, breaking late then and getting alongside the Alfa Romeo. Can he get through on the exit? They are still dueling for the place in a turn 2, but the Renault with momentum comes flying round the outside. Will get up into that 8th position on the road. Got a bit of a graphics glitch, we'll see, but Lando does still lead the way out there and is holding station then, holding in front of Total Peace for the moment. And those two looking pretty dominant up in the front there. XL Ryan holding down P3 then. And currently it's an All England top 3 with the first team represented with 2 cars, and in the second team represented with 1 car. Again, as the team swapping there. That's free dropping back from Mad Ductinator. Of course, these medium tires for some of these guys then. And 12 through 14 going to look to try and recover later on in the race. And it is Bahrain event for the evening. You can see further up the road. And so I've got to the inside lane of Alex. And they duel for the apex of turn 11. But through goes the racing point then. Trying to sweep it at turn 12. Will get the high ground and get the place. Moving up into P8 then. And currently, in fact, it is the second Maltese team that has 3 drivers inside the top 8 then, looking very strong at the moment. England's one as well with 3 drivers inside the top 8. They're also looking pretty strong out there at the moment. Now they punch out of turn 14 and 15 for the final time on the second lap, and now with DRS activated onto the third lap. Now we're going to see the fun really start out there on the circuit. You can see these Maltese drivers then holding down P4 and P5 there. Michael and Glanza further down the road. We might see some battling here. So they have under a bit of pressure. Big squirrel, big slide from the rear end of the car. Looks like he's going to hold on to it though. Glanza closing down on Michael, but these guys aren't going to fight too harshly over this place, I suspect. Looks like they're going to be content. Just hold possession in the upper midfield and running well as it stands. We'll see if they can keep it going. Semi, you can see here at the Mercedes closing up to the back of Epic. Does he dive into the inside line? No, he just waits for a little bit longer. Of course, these guys racing for the Belgian team. They've only got 3 drivers in the lobby as it stands then, and they'll later try and hold down positions there. Rage a little bit further up the order. He's got Glanza now right inside, but I don't think the move's quite going to come through yet as they head into turn 11. The Alfa Romeo closes on the Williams, but not quite enough to make an overtake stick up at the front. Total Peace, they're beginning to pressure XL Lando then, trying to pile it on the McLaren and look for a way through. Of course, Williams too underrepresented in this race, but Total Peace, you suspect, is going to fight tooth and nail, look for any way through of snatching a possession out there on track then for the race leader. He's got the overtake, he's got the DRS to try and fight through that. He has it opened up and he's gaining all the time. Can he snatch the race lead from Lando? Lando's going to be on the defensive here in a turn 1 and he covers the line. Peace up to the outside then. It's going to look for a switch back in the main race. Glanz is going out further down the order. Going to get some fresh tyres on us now. Total Peace going for the race lead for the second time of asking. Can Lando hang on to this? To the inside lane he looks, but that move will not quite come through just yet. Then Lando holding on to the place. Total Peace chasing him down. Ryan go with him in the gap. Opening up behind there. Michael's not quite been able to keep pace at the moment. Still holding down that P4 range. Chasing him down. And behind then in the Alfa Romeo. We got battles further down then. Bree and Harley there. Bree moving forward for the first Maltese team. He has got now Ryan right up in front of him. You can see then Glanza came out there. He did get a penalty. That's a speeding penalty. Going through that pit lane is going to cost him dearly in a close field. He's going to have to try and work his way through and make up for that mistake. You see that Total Peace has Lando all lined up. He's piling everything onto it. Can he find a way through that? He's still looking comfortable up at the front of the race then. Mad Ductinator on the attack again. This time on Epics when he runs out wide. The Alfa Romeo cuts back underneath for the Belgian team. Moves through and up now into that 9th position there. Belgium won again, slightly underrepresented there. Kobe down the field has had a bit of a wing change. I think he's dropped a little bit further down the order as well, and so Rage and Epic look like they're going to have to try and bring home the bacon for that team. Now as Ryan comes in, then now Total Peace is going for the race in again to the inside lane of XL. Lando draws alongside Lando, defending for the outside. Can he claim the inside? Heading into turn 2, sweeps into the lead, and Lando will hold on to it. Now DRS back into play. Total Peace looking to fight back then. Lando up to the outside lane. Peace looking to the inside, trying to get alongside of the brakes, and he may just get through on the exit. He draws level almost with the McLaren, but Lando will just about see it off and see off the offences of the charging Total Peace for the Red Bull, chasing him down, not quite able to get through though. Further down the order, Ryan emerges. He's in front of Michael and Gladys still. Then he managed to keep those tires alive, keep in front of that chasing pack. Then Slash has emerged and he's back in the session, and now the pit lane is going to try and hunt down Kobe, looking for some places out on track, recovering from the disastrous start early in the race. Still Total Peace on the rear wing of Lando, but doesn't quite come through, and Lando for the moment is just unable to hold it back out there on the track. And of course then from this race, well of course it's going to be an elimination race, certainly going to play a massive part in the playing out of the tournament. I can tell you that it's only the first place team for this round that is going to be going through. Slash moving through on Kobe Rowdy outside of turn 9, sweeps in a 15th place, and Slash moving up then and getting the move done, and Kobe couldn't quite hold it back. Then pit stops for the race leaders now. They're going to dive in there. Kobe trying to fight back, and Slash to the inside lane at turn 11 is going to go committed on the brakes. Can he sweep it through the outside? No, I think Slash will hold on to the place, and at turn 12 will manage to cut back in front, maintain P15. It's a very busy pit lane in there now. Cars galore diving in. Lando is going to maintain that night racing there. P's going with him. How's the other car going to work out? Ryan was about a second or so behind. We'll see the cars emerging from that pit lead. He's not going to be far up. P's will have a better entry actually. Heading into turn 1, it gets right onto the Red Bull. Runs out wide though, and we'll have to scoop him behind then at P5, P6 for the moment for these guys. Lando in a DRS, really looking to punch clear now. And that's the early stage of the race, and Lando is flying along nicely at the front then. 3 cars yet to come in then. You can see them out here now. It's Bree, Malta, and Ryan Malta I should say, and Halle. They run 1, 2 and 3 for the moment then. It is 2 Malta 2 drivers and then 1 Malta 1 driver chasing then down behind. Then you can see Ryan running a little bit wide then. Slash and Kobe are still battling there, heading through turn 4, and again Slash will just about get the better of the Haas driver, looking to chase him down for Belgium, but that move not quite coming through just yet. Then he's going to have to look for better fortunes further down the line then, but he's still chasing him down all the way through out there on the road then, round lap 6 at the moment, nearing the halfway stage of the Bahrain race. Still hungry to go out there, folks. Then we have a lot of racing ahead of you for tonight. How long do these medium runners want to stay out there and stretch those tires? Of course the softs aren't too strong around here, but you can certainly get some decent tire life out of them if you just keeping them all together. Halle now looking at Ryan Malta. He's going to try and fight a way through, and of course his teammates are very bare in this race, but he'll certainly look to try and get as many points on the board as he possibly can, as every point matters in this LRNC championship. As now in a race we're getting first place matters most then. It doesn't really matter what other places happen. You can see Ryan Malta diving to the inside lane of Bree I think lets it up, and he is going to sit off the back and maybe wait for attacks on the Mercedes driver further down the road there. But Ryan Malta reclaims that race lead there for Bree Halle. Then 6 seconds or so back to Lando, and Kobe and Slash are still going at it. Kobe did the inside lane to make contact through the exit of turn 1, and they're still dueling on the exit. Slash is winding off the track. Emerges still side by side, but not with the momentum to hang on to the place, and has to slow them behind further down the field. But they're still getting points for this, and you can tell because these 2 guys are fighting tooth and nail for every position. Every ounce of track positional battle out there on the track will be necessary for the way these points are going to add up then in the grand scheme of things. Then Slash running right up to the back of Kobe, lagging about the track a little bit then, but looks like he's going to hold station for the moment. Lando still holds the net racing, and he's gradually, ever so gradually pulling away from Total Peace in 5th place at the moment. You can see him stretching out now. That advantage he got to the pit stops is really coming good now. 2 seconds clear. XL Lando is flying away at the front. Now He looks to try and build on that then. Finally pit stops for the medium runners. Ryan and Bree both diving in there. That's going to hand second place to Lando Haller. Now still out there. Soft tires going on. We'll see what these guys will emerge and how far through they can fight in the back half of the race. And Ryan just emerging in front of B will emerge probably a bit further down the train's going to have to try and recover with those fresh tires on. We'll see where they can go there. Ryan and Brew, they're going to come out behind Matt Duck today there. The field is actually quite spread out in this lower midfield, and so there will be DRS trades, so the overtakes can be picked off then. Again, Slash attacks Kobe, this time to the outside, and this time he's brave enough and bold enough to sweep through the apex of turn 1 and now claims that 14th position out there on the road then. So Slash moves up then. These two are still going at it for every corner, battling for the apex everywhere you look, but through goes Slash, back goes Kobe. Still Haller leads the way. He's being rapidly reeled in by the sensational XL Lando. Still looking so strong at the moment then. He narrowly missed out. Kobe going off, and that's in a turn 7. Did he just maybe hit the car on the inside or outside, spearing him off into the wall then? And he's going to be out the race in a better blues now for the Belgian team then. That's going to really sit the back. Apex is further down the field. Range is having a good race. He sits on the back of Michael and Glads. Looking at gain as well from Glads, a stop and go penalty which he can't serve near the end of the race. Then 10 Cat is also in the beneficiary of that if he can hang on in there. Haller now in. Lando promoted, and we're going to see now the field, the order, and what we should be seeing then in terms of that position. And now the drivers are going to have to try and fight to the checkered flag. It's a straight fight between all the drivers. Where does Haller emerge? Has he put in a good enough end lap then? He's going to wait to take off that 80 km/h pit limiter, and he's going to drop to the rear of the train then behind Bree. And now these guys are going to be flying through then on the back of our duck today, but how much further can they get off? The furthest driver of different allegiance is Sorev, just up the road then, holding down 9th place, but you can see that the team owners coming through then. Through goes Ryan now, up in the top 10, and now we're going to look to continue to charge through and build on that place out there at the moment. Closest battle on track is Michael, holding back Glanza, who's defending him at the moment. From Rage is holding in and still dreaming of a 4th place finish. He has the Williams driver lined up for traction on exit, but the DRS straight making overtaking so difficult and holding down that middle spot, and the train's so powerful. You can hold on to 5th place then to your heart's content, and Range is going to have to look for something special in these final 5 laps to make a way through. You can see there more team owners then. Manducinator, I think is the actually correct term. My apologies then. He does allow Bree through up into that 11th place. These guys now going to try and fly out to the back of Sonev up the road there. The gap just over a second, and Ryan catching rapidly. Now looking to try and fight a way through onto the 10th lap of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Are we going to see any moves here? Glanza is on that DRS, and DRS on the back of his teammate. Are they going to go to war here, to battle to the inside lane? He looks, but he is wise enough not to come into a move on his teammate, and Rage can only sit there and watch and wait for maybe an opportunity to potentially open itself up in these closing few laps. And so he has that Williams driver lined up, can't quite get through to the moment there. Ryan is chasing down Sonev. Is he going to dive it? Going into turn 4. Yes, he is. The Mercedes is ambitiously diving to the inside like daringly. If he can get it, stop the turn, and he's through though. And Ryan Malta straight through 9th place and backing up his teammate then. And currently Malta too having a solid enough day, but still their compatriots having better success with Michael and Glanza still within that top 5 at the moment then, with Rage chasing him down, going to the inside line, and Glanza's made a mistake, and through goes Rage. At last he snatches P5 and now can try and chase down the 4th place Michael in these dying laps. Still got just over 4 laps to go, where the racing can be decided, where the order can still get shaken up, as now Haller moving past Manducinator. He's going to get up into that 12th place and still moving through. And Manducinator couldn't quite hold it back. So goes Haller then up in a 12th then. And currently Malta 2 have all their drivers inside the top 12 for the moment then, and bracking up decent points then. Belgium having 2 drivers at the back of the field going to hurt them, even though Rage is performing well, and Rage now trying to chase down Michael. Looking to snatch that 4th place, and up the road Ryan now beginning to line up total pace. He wants an England 1-1-2. We've not touched in on these races at a later moment. Haller in the fast lap of the race. That is the pace that these soft tires present. And now Sonev is going to be on the defensive yet again. One of them is his teammate behind him, but Bree certainly isn't. And Bree now has the Racing Point lined up in a turn 3. He's absolutely flat out there with DRS and overtake. Can he get close enough to the inside line? Is he going to be brave on the brakes? He is going to hang back and wait for maybe better opportunities to present themselves up the road then. And we have Semi chasing down Tin Can. Tin Can is going to be on the defensive here. Both these guys at the moment are gaining on Glance's penalty at the moment, so that's going to promote both these guys into P6, P7 unless they battle too hard in these final few laps. You can see Semi, he runs up to Tin Can on the brakes, but doesn't quite commit to the moving over just yet then. We got Rage there, he's right on the back of Michael. Can he suss the move there? We're coming up now with 3 laps to go. And Bree now getting alongside, someone's going to breeze through, and now Harlan will surely follow through as well. Serve almost into his teammate then. And they go dueling out on track, but he had to give up the place then. Through goes Bree, and through goes Haller. And behind as well, then up in a P10 and P11, they are promoted out on track then, trying to move forward even still. Ryan has not quite been able to hone in on this group ahead the way and maybe hoped or expected him to. And he's leaving it to Semi now to attack Tin Can out on the road. He's low on battery, he's low on ERS, but he's still going to charge and look, try and find that overtake without much overtake. To the inside line it's going to go. It's going to be a duel on the brakes, but Semi claims the inside line. Tin Can trying to run it back around the outside and hold on to the place. He still holds a good line out. Turn 2 and has a fighting chance for the exit. So now with DRS, with a bit more battery to use, but Semi's holding on to it. Down the straight will have enough of that to maintain that 7th position at last. He is through, and now he can try again. Or glad to the gap 4.2. It is dangerous though. It can still certainly go either way if Glanza pulls out a good last few laps in. Rage has got Michael Patchy. Oh, lines up for a way through. But the Racing Point holding firm, keeping that defence going and keeping himself up then. You can see now Rage is on that overtake and chasing him down all the time now, getting right up to the rear wing of the Racing Point, and the overtake could well be imminent if he puts it all together. He has an ERS advantage over Michael. He's going to struggle to try and hold it back then. They are on P4, P5 and P6 then, still in tandem, still all in line as Tin Can further down the road is trying to get to Semi, but now Glance's penalty is on the verge of not mattering then. Semi's holding these guys back, and it's 4.9 behind. Now it's teetering on the edge of these guys. Not benefiting. 2 laps to go in the Bahrain race. And still excellent Tin Can has Semi 2-7 lined up then, and Ryan now with him looking for a way through, trying to gain 2 places and maybe try and get solidify P7 name for his team, but Tin Can's the one on the attack, going to the inside lane against the pit wall, looking for P7, then Ryan can't hold it back, then he's looking behind, diving to the inside of his teammate, and Semi isolated on the outside line. The Mercedes going side by side, they got the back out of it to Semi, but Tin Can, brilliant move. He runs P7 and now it's up to Ryan to try and ball through. He runs P8 on the road. Can he pull it back out there on the track? 1.5 laps to go. Still Lando leads 3 seconds clear. He has come under no pressure in that second stint. Is away and gone and continuing to pull clear. Excel Lando has been dominant. Has driven absolutely superbly out there on track. You do sense there's almost no way back for anyone in behind then. Rexel Ryan trying to chase down Total Peas, but it looks unlikely. Peas has kept him at arm's length, kept him at distance throughout the race, and just has to do so for 1 lap more. 9/10 the gap then. Peas just needs to try and drive a solid run to the end, and he has P2 now all wrapped up. And a good haul of points for England too, but you sense with no teammates, it's still an uphill battle to maintain and get any sort of decent leverage. Of course, only one team here is getting up into that best of the rest final. Can Rage start to move up Michael, who immediately covers the inside lane, going over, swinging to the right hand side to break the slipstream. Will Rage has a great run then, chasing him down all the time. He's going to go late to the outside, break incredibly late. Can he get a stop then? Michael's in deep as well, but Rage off the track in the Racing Point, sweeps around the outside and will maintain P4 now. Glad's on the attack later and trying to get through. He chases down Works Rage, but it doesn't quite come through now. Mulder lining up Tin Can. Tin Can though has more battery and just has a little bit more now to the inside lane. He goes just not enough. He didn't commit fully, he couldn't commit fully. There would have been ending in tears, And he has to wait behind, maybe an opportunity to open itself up a little bit further down the line. Lando leads in P2. Ryan trying to chase him down late in third, but he's burnt a lot of battery to do so. New sense, it's just too little too late then. Rage has a better run at Michael. Can he get through this time again? Michael swinging this time to the left hand side of the track, right up against the white line. He's not relinquishing the inside line to Rage again, going deep around the outside. Can he get this one done? And turn 11. Rage going for 4th place late to the inside of turn 12. That is spectacular from Rage. Wow! Straight round the outside of 11. He was so bold on the brakes. Going to stop that he's headed for that 4th place. But no doubt about the winner. Excel Lando cruises to victory. Bahrain takes the race victory. Pays hold off Ryan. They come through P2, P3. Now Rage going for the line. Michael trying to chase him down, but he's too far. Rage snatches the possession. Michael jumps him in the end. I think was that some desync there. That was very confusing. Rage clearly crossed the line ahead, but Michael's been giving it. Gonna have to get some clarification on that. Semi does hold on to P6 from Glad to P7. Tin Can just misses out. P8 then. He does beat Ryan Malta to the line though. Brie Sonev and P10, 11 and 12. Madusinator's P13 Slash and epic nightmare races for these guys. I think Slash going for fastest lap to close out the race. Let's see if he gets that. We'll see if Epic can challenge it over the line. Slash will comfortably get that fastest lap of the race then. But can Epic stop it then? Heading throughout that middle sector. He is up on his time, but he's a little bit down on what Slash was achieving, I'm pretty sure. And so I think he's headed for that 15th place and a minimal points for Belgium. I'm not exactly sure what's happening because Rage, I'm not sure why Michael's been given that. I think that's because Michael, we saw him off the line going a bit later, so I'm thinking maybe it's a bit of lag compensation. I think he got released after everyone else, and so that's why you're seeing him being given that 4th place, despite Rage crossing the line in front of him. We'll see if there's going to be any inquiries with the stewards. Ryan Malta does get driver of the day. He fought back very nicely to get in the way for that top 10 finish. But again, as I said, no doubt about the winner. It is going to be Lando from Pease from Ryan. And you sense now that England 1 are in that hot seat to get through. Certainly if you look at some of the results that they managed to pull off then. They had 2 drivers up on that podium, including the race victory. Tin Can had a decent enough race in the end. And, well, Slash, of course, didn't get away well, but he did manage to get a good haul of points, and I think that England 1 will certainly be the team to beat going into that final round. And so Lando wins the day then. Total P's in 2nd place. Ryan rounds out the podium. Michael does get 4th. We'll see what happens with that controversy at the end. Rage, it looks though he may have just done that incredible move on turn 11 for nothing in the end. Semi does snatch Glanz's 6th place in the end then by the smallest of margins. Tin Can just misses out. In the end, he gets P8 then from Ryan Malta and Brie running out the top 10. Haller, Sonev, Mandusinator, Slash, Epic round out the finishers. Kobe didn't quite see out the checkered flag. We saw that crash heading out of turn 7. But that is it for the first race of the evening here at Bahrain. Next up is going to be the Hungarian Grand Prix. And so that is going to be it for the first race. I'm going to take a quick drink, and then we'll be back to racing. Hungary up next. Do not go anywhere. Surely it's going to be another great race. And we'll see if England 1 can build on that great start to progress into that best of the rest final. And so now we have the second race of the evening ahead of us. It is, of course, the same story that you guys are familiar of by now. We are going to have a one-shot qualifying followed by that 25% distance sprint race to cap things off then at the Hungaroring. And so we're going to get the answers as to how this is going to unfold. Of course, we do have pretty much everyone lined up then for what is going to be the second race of the evening. It is unfortunate we only got 16 out of 20 drivers and for tonight. but we can now get it all ready to go. And we'll see if Lando can repeat fortunes. He never looked coming under pressure. Total Pete's did attack him a bit in that first stint, but the second stint went firmly the way of Lando once he got out of that DRS range. And can he bring home another victory? Can England 1 progress? Can anyone else stop them out? I think that Malta 2 might be their nearest contenders. Malta 1 also had a decent enough race, but I do think that England 1 are going to be leading the way after that opening round, and now we can look to get things set up. I believe it's the same grid, 16 drivers looking to take on this Hungary. Qualifying is going to be critical around this circuit. It's such a difficult track to overtake, and the only real opportunities are into turns 1 and turn 2. Apart from that, you really don't have any clear moves to be pulled off on the track after that first lap then. So really with those DRS zones, that is going to be when you're going to be seeing the bulk of the overtaking, I believe, out there on the road. And so hopefully you guys are all enjoying the broadcast early on here. And we're just waiting for everyone to get set into the lobby. Here we go now. We have the Hungarian race ahead of us, just outside of Budapest, Hungary's capital city. We'll see how the drivers take on this circuit. Everyone now getting sorted with their strategies. This is a track where the soft tires aren't particularly strong in 50% races, but in 25% race, of course, everyone is going to be on those softs, and they're going to get the fastest possible lap times that they can muster up to get themselves high up the grid in this real qualifying track. They call it Monaco without the barriers, and if you're not familiar with this track, you will see why through this one-shot qualifying lap. And so everyone getting prepared then, getting all set for what is going to be the second one-shot qualifying. Of course, he didn't quite catch the first one on stream. We're going to watch Harley then, and the Williams. The first corner then, spotting the braking sports on the left hand side, getting stopped and turned in for 1, taking in second gear then, short shifting through the exit, DRS open again, and then you're on the throttle again, heading in to that second corner on the lap. Get it, stop the turn in, hooking the curb on the inside line, running up to the outside line, and then you're back on the throttle up the hill towards turn 4 then, the iconic high speed left-hander commitment is out through here. Then you've got to keep it between the white lines, so our drivers will be invalidating, there's no doubt about that. Through turn 5, nice and clean out into the turn 6 and 7 chicane then. You can use a bit more of the curbs through there, then you can be as aggressive as you like going through there without spinning the car. Then out through turn 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 then, through this iconic middle part of the lap, then it is absolutely flat out, then high speed corners all the way. Haller, you can see, just keeps the car between the two white lines, still has a fighting chance through this qualifying session. And a turn 12 and out of 13 then. Crucial to get close to that curb on the inside line, but not touching it back up to the outside. Swing it now right into the final turn then. Got to get early on the throttle, balance it to the line now. Goes Haller, he's been pat, but Lando again going straight through for pole position. He has been on top form tonight. And again, he will wrap up pole and look to try and carry that forward into the race. Then Total Peace again is nearest challenger, Slash in P3, Ryan Malta P4, much better qualified from Ryan, and his fellow Ryan, XL Ryan, as P5. 3 England 1 drivers inside the top 5. You says now that they have one hand on that best of the rest final spot. Michael is P6 in the end from Kobe, P7, Harley P8, Rage in 9th position with Manducinator and P10. XL Bree is 11, just behind them with Epic and P12. 10 countdown to P13. Simi actually opting for the mediums. He's 14 to the end on the slower tires. Glanza and Sonev couldn't quite get valid laps on the board then. Not as quite as good a qualifying session for Malta 2 then. And you definitely get the impression that England 1, if they can convert this race, are on for this one. Now Hungary looms. As I mentioned earlier, they call it Monaco without the barriers, and now everyone is going to have to try and maximise what they achieved in qualifying into the race. Let's see what they can do as we now look to prepare for what is going to be the second race of the evening. We've only got just over 1 race week left to go here in LRNC. And of course now just the last race of the evening looms And be of course where to tune in to the finals next week. One of these teams will be participating. Which one will it be now, as we prepare to get things started for this Hungary race? Of course, it is a big elimination day. 4 teams to be knocked out in this event, which is going to be the single biggest elimination of any group of teams throughout this entire tournament. Now we can get it underway. Formation lap, of course, first on the agenda, and then it's going to be, I believe, an 18-lap race around the famed Hungary. And we'll get the answer as to where everything stands, of course, and there will be some shorter queries. Didn't really see anything, though, from that first race that was really worth noting. And so I think that everyone will just about be safe and sound and ready to go again for tonight. Total P's just near, and now the last driver to get ready, and now we can get things started. Here we go for Hungary. We look outside that top 10. Where does everyone stand? We have got Bree, Epic, Simi, Glanza, Sonev. That is the overwhelming majority going for that medium component tires, the yellow ball tires, and XL10 Can going for the soft tires after I imagine a below par qualifying session he wasn't happy with. He's going to look to recover from that 13th place then, but Lando, his teammate, is going to be up front then. Total P is going to challenge him this time. It's a reasonably long run into the first corner, and so I can definitely see some people challenging from further back. Did he get that good launch? Can carry you forward. But Pease is going to be the nearest contender to Lando. If Slash can get through, though, he's going to back him up then. I have seen his car jumping about the road a little bit. Hopefully we don't see too many into their issues. But he's going to look to chase down then. And Malta won, actually, looking a little bit better here with Ryan Malta. He's been in a great qualifying session. He had a really good race after a below par qualifying session last time out. Now we'll see what he can do with that. Then 18 laps are in front of us. Lando's going to guide them round to the grid. I'm going to take a quick drink break yet again, as I'm fearing for my voice out of this one, but Lando's going to lead away. The question is, though, can he convert it into turn 1? A lot of excitement in front of us. Do not go anywhere as we get towards the second race of the evening. And so, round to the grid. There you go. Lando is going to lead them round. Total P's will be joining him alongside. And the question is, who's going to be getting that all-important launch off the line? Watch out for the guys for the second row as well. It's a long run, as I mentioned, so a lot can change heading into that tight first turn. Now it's going to start to open up throughout there. Those 2 hairpins at the start are going to be where the race could be decided in terms of trap position, with overtaking so difficult around here. But now the grid is settled, and we have 18 laps of racing in front of us that we're about to get into right now. So Lando's second pole position, can he make it a perfect evening? Can we get underway this time around? Looks like we're having a bit of lobby lag. Now we get it underway for the second race of the evening. We have 5 lights. And race 2 in Hungary is underway then. Jump start there from Epic further down the order. Just went a little bit too early, and it's going to cost Belgium dearly in this race. But over the front, Lando leading the line and back battling him out, and Haas off Corby diving the outside there as I saw Ryan getting pushed up the line, and it is chaos down there. Turn 1 is it open up. Kobe went for the launch inside with him a Slash. Slash is going round then, and he comes again with Malta, and is kicking off then down to turn 2. Front end Blaze flying, and I saw one. I think I was coming over Ryan and Intros alongside. They're all jostling in a turn 4 then. There's so many cars fighting for the same piece of tarmac then. Somehow no one is around, but there's major damage down there in that mid pack. Then it all kicked off. Then you can see off the road, and that's my Deucenator running wide to Ferrari, coming back down the order. They are still fighting, as I think I was Simi running wide out of turn 6, and as they all came together going through that chicane, there was Glanza who came off worst. He drops to the back. Sonev gone as well, as long as Epic. And that means now Malta 2 having a huge hit now after a really good first race. They drop well down the order. Rage and Simi are battling away, heading through turn 12. The Mercedes getting through then with the Alfa Romeo. Try to dive back through that one. Doesn't quite come through up in the front. Lando does lead then from Pease. Kobe up to third. After that, incredibly aggressive run to the inside of turn one as predicted. Cars petting in there. Ryan Haller. They dive in at the edge of the first lap. Emmic's in as well. Sunday stays out. Gladza is still not going to the pit lane. It's now Ryan Moulton trying to attack Kobe in, heading through turn one. But that one doesn't quite come through, and he has to sit it behind. The Haas for the time being, the top two pulling away up front, then Lando leads Pease at the moment, 4 cars from the pit lane then. Harley, the leader of those medium tires going on, we'll see if they can last it to the checkered flag then, as Ryan Malta trying to go around the inside, gets forced up the track, runs out wide, and a turn 5 gets cut off by Kobe. He was too ambitious, I think, trying to run around the outside. He was fairly cut off then, Kobe holding on to that third position at the moment. They sweep it now through the intersection then, heading in final then. You can see Slash holding on to that top 5 then. He had a bit of a scare then, heading through. 10 card run second. He gained so many places off that start. Semi as well, moving right up the order after so many cars had issues down there at that first few corners in. It got chaotic, it got manic down there. And certainly I don't think that's the last of it. You can see now Ryan Malta has ATS Kobe lined up there looking to try and snatch this podium away. Kobe of course not seeing out the first race. Big oversteer for Ryan might just cost him dearly and try to chase down. And looks like Kobe will hold on to P3 but is losing time rapidly to the top 2, which is still led by XL Lando. Moving clear at the front, further down the order we got Michael attacking Bree to the inside of turn 1 then. Can he get it stopped on his compatriot? It's going to sweep through now into P9 on the soft tires. It's Adam and he continues to move through. The Bree is chasing him down but not quite chasing him down hard enough, and it cannot quite get through. Then Michael up to 9 going to try and chase down Rage up the end who's attacking Semi to the edge of the turn 4. We've seen another driver doing this then, round the outside. Semi corner the inside lane. Rage running round then, yellows down there back in the order. Rage, he had to go off the track but he does get through, but he's been given a legal overtake I think, and Semi will reclaim that 7th position, and Rage again going for spectacular moves again out there on the road. They now have Michael with them there. Bree as well trying to chase down there, sticking with it. Manducinator's with it as well. It's all bunching up there. That's for P7 downwards and Ryan Malta again attacking ATS Kobe. That will not quite coming through, and Slash in behind, and he's going to try and take advantage of that any moment as well. Now punching out of that turn 13 and 14, you can see early pit stop from Slash. He's going for a mega undercut here, trying to jump up to the order, then 10 can in behind this end as well. And so you see now England one coordinating their pit stops. They're looking to go in early. Malta now, but Kobe holds on to the place that he's going to see. Turn 1, Ryan gets superb one. Is he going to go for the inside lane? Heading into turn 2, he finds the gap, but on the outside, the Rage diving to the inside of Semi, cutting in and stopped. He locks it all up, but finds the inside lane, and Rage gets through again. Spectacular, and this time Semi couldn't hold it back then. Ryan, penalty up the road. He's not losing out on anything, but he is holding back in that battle for P3 then. It's beginning to open up in the field, and they are isolated at the moment then. Pease and Lando pulling clear, particularly Lando. You cannot ball his performance then, as Semi now dropping back, the Michael going through then, and now XL Bree trying to find a move to the inside lane. That one doesn't quite come through. His teammate Manducinator is looking in behind as well then. Ferrari running nose to tail on the circuit at the moment. Slash is the leading of the cars in the pit. The big outlap could put him in a bit into net P3. We'll see where these guys emerge, and as Lando went for the lead, P's following him through then, and now I suspect that it's going to be busy in there. Out stays Kobe, and goes Ryan Malta, and behind in there Rage is going to stay out then, Michael Penning. So you can see that split in the strategies. It's the Belgians though that have opted to keep those tires going and get that pit stop done a little bit later on then. Now it's busy in there. They can see drums being promoted. Semi the leading of the medium runners has Bree tucked in underneath him though, his teammate, but he runs out wide through turn 1, and now you get Bree an opportunity. Bree's going to get through, and I don't suspect the Semi is going to look to try and hold it back then. Now here comes the moments of truth then from the pit stops then. Ryan Malta is going to emerge. 10K coming down the outside then. Slash has jumped to everybody straight up now into a net P3 now on the road. Then brilliant from Slash, and he has worked his way back then, and all of a sudden the progression of England 1 is looking increasingly likely now. MMA Slash just has to hold on to the place and see it through. That total P's in a penalty as well at the moment. He's had such a good evening in terms of his individual performance, but ultimately with no other teammates having a penalty now, it is simply, I think, too much to achieve to move himself forward now. And I think they're going to be eliminated, no doubt about that. Just not enough drivers to really compensate that solo with a penalty as well. He's being chased down by Total Peas then, slashing in range then. Ryan Malta also with a penalty, so that's going to promote Tin Can. It may even promote Michael in behind then. Of a multitude. You can see that Kobe getting a penalty as he dives into the pit lane, occupying that podium place before, and the undercut being so powerful. Has he made too many errors in this race? Is this going to cost him dearly? 3 cars now diving to the pit lane, and Kobe now with a wing fix actually. So maybe he picked that up at the start there when he dived to the inside lane. That promotes Rage, but he's going to be, I imagine, behind most of this train. He may well be close with Michael coming through. Now Michael is going to jump to the outside lane. He's actually almost side by side. That's the I-car of Glanza, who unfortunately hasn't really been able to play his part in this race. Further down the road there, Ryan moves out with Manducinator on the pit edge to try and draw alongside and on the outside area. Turn to Manducinator going braver on the outside. Is he going to lose out though? As Epic to the outside, they make contact. Round goes Epic, spearing into the wall. Oh no! And now Epic, he's had a miserable evening, and now in the wall at turn 2, coming together. And ultimately now that's going to really set back then. Michael moving past Rage up the road, that's going to make that place nice and cleanly, moving through at the 9th place. And can he continue that upward momentum and that upward curve? He is currently within range, or he can try and get within range of Ryan Malta. Better work to do. We'll see if he can pull it off then. Ryan Malta though, with good pace out the box, and he's going to try and chase down MMA Slash, but how much of the penalty going to cost him? But here, Total Pace now has Son of lined up there. Son of staying out for another lap. The medium tires not wearing particularly highly, and they want to try and get as little laps to the softs they can, because the soft tire, not a good race tire evidently, but to the inside line, Total Pace will get through. Up into that 4th place, he's pulling clear out of MMA Slash. He still has Streams a second on the road, and if he keeps that pace going, Total Pace again looking for P2. Are we going to see the same top 2 for the second race running as XL Lando completely dominates up at the front of the order, moving clear. Then he runs P3 on the road. P1 net position. He has got these 2 race leaders chasing down up in front there. Brain Simmy joined that spot up in the front there, but Lando chasing him down all the time with much fresher tires underneath the car. Glanza has been getting a penalty. Epic now out the race. He's had enough. He's gone through that pit lane. And so Epic bowing out. And ultimately, I think that's going to rule out Belgium's chances in this tournament then. We saw the first of their teams getting knocked out in the last round. I think we're going to see the second then, unfortunately, bowing out in this 3rd round of the championship. Of course, it is the 3rd of 4. Just one more event to go, and it's looking increasingly likely that England 1 is going to be that team to make it. They have looked so crushing here tonight, and they'll be a team to watch surely heading in to that best of the rest final coming up next week. If they make it, of course, there's still an awful long way to go, as they'll receive pit stops of the early race leaders. XL Bree dives in then, fresh soft tires going on. How well is that alternate strategy going to work? How far to the field can he charge? Where does he emerge from that pit lane? He's not going to be far off Kobe. He may just get out in front of XL Riders, charging down the outside lane, trying to get alongside the Ferrari, but it's covered off by Bree. Doesn't get the best exit off a turn 1, but it doesn't matter now. Manducin here trying to get through on the Renault to the outside of turn 2, but Ryan covers off all angles inside and outside, and ultimately there's no way of the Maltese driver to get through. Then driving from Malta 1, trying to get up to the back of the Renault. Ryan, of course, going off at the start. Still holding firm though, keeping holding up 12th place. We'll look to try and get better fortunes later on, but with Bree ahead on soft tires, that's going to be a very difficult mountain to climb. But can those softs see out the remainder of the race distance? Semi still leads, and Lando really him in. I suspect now the Mercedes will be coming in at the conclusion of this 8th lap, and then we're going to have a sprint to the checker flag. He's actually staying out, so Lando is going to have to get this moved on out on track. Let's see now, the man who has not put a foot wrong all evening, and that slipstream now with DRS and overtake, tries to get alongside the inside lane, is covered by Simi. He's not giving this one up, but to the outside, Lando now looking for the race lead. To the inside goes Simi. He's brave and bold on the brakes, and he forces the McLaren out of the way, and ultimately Lando couldn't get through. He's going to be furious. He's fading back then, diving desperately to the end of the turn 2. He's going to lose them, try and force his way through, running Semi out of the road, nearly going around, and somehow Lando gets through Semi, keeping up a whole load of resistance. Sunhev now fighting away with MMA Slash trying to get a better drive, coming over turn 3 now up the hill towards 4 Oakway, going to get through then. Michael and Rage are dueling for turn 3 then, the racing point is round the outside. And up in 8th place then, Michael moving forward then, trying to recover from that qualifying there. He now runs 8 in P7 it will be when Semi comes in. And Semi dropping back now rapidly from Lando. He gave it such a good go, but ultimately, tyre grip did prevail. And XL Lando is up to the racing and comfortably. This is a remarkably dominant performance, and he's continuing to move clear up at the front of the race. You can see now yellow's down the road, and that's Glance's AI car. Let's go off there. I think he's. I don't think it's actually AI. I think he's just the. Because I did see him get a penalty early on. He has retired off his own back, so Glance now, unfortunately, out the running. Semi has come into the pit lane now, and so he's bowed out on those tires. Now got some soft, so we'll see what he can do in the back half of the race then. Rage trying to fly up to the back of Michael now, using that ERS, using that battery now to get alongside the racing point to the inside lane. And turn 1, he's going to get through up the road. Then Tin Can as well is attacking Ryan Malta. Actually, I think that's a bit of a timing bug then. He's certainly nowhere near that. You can see Bree trying to get up to Kobe then. Fresh tires underneath him then with overtake then. Can he get through then? It's Kobe going to cover the inside line. He doesn't even need to, as Bree cannot quite get near enough. Sonev now has been split then by Slash, getting through there. Ryan Mulder trying to hone in on them. Tin Can a few seconds back and look at the benefit now. Semi moving through Harley further down the road then now as Mandusa nearly getting through, but gets a penalty on the inside of turn 4. That is going to really hold it back. Any tight field, he's going to have to really work for it, but he is going to get allowed through by Mandusa. Team play going on there, and he does stay in front of Haller. Of course, these guys rivals in their compatriots. They glance at him out the session. He's had enough of the racing for tonight. Into the second half of the second race, and XL Lando pulling clear at the front then, nearly 5 seconds clear of total P's with just 9 laps to go. 8 laps to go, I should say. He can now see it through for the front of the race then. Now, we've got Ryan Malta honing in on Sonev. Again, Sonev's holding back this time. We saw him facely defending against Slash, but now Ryan Malta to the inside line. It's going to be towards turn 1. He just has to be laying up on the brakes to get through. Indeed he will be. Runs out wide, and Sonev trying to get back underneath, but the DRS is too powerful, too much. And through goes Ryan Mulder. Semi now on Ryan to the inside lane, and Ryan has no resistance. It's futile to defend. Harley now moving through on the Mantusa, who couldn't hold it back, and now drops to the rear of the train, now dropping in a 14th place at the moment. Then Harley moving up in a 13th place, but ultimately it's just not been a day for Malta 2 in this race. He had a very good first race, but the second race just hasn't, unfortunately, gone their way. We're coming out now with 7 laps to go. XL Lando still leads the way. Total pace 5 seconds to drive. You can see another 5 seconds behind to MMA Slash, who's holding down this podium, but ultimately he's just been outpaced by Pease in these last few laps, and Pease looks really comfortable now for that second place. Even with a penalty, he can just drive it home. Looking now for that P2 for the second time this evening. Still got battling out on the track there. Rage is trying to get up to Tin Can. Has slightly fresher tires underneath him in the Alfa Romeo, and the Renault in front of him there. Michael as well. Right there, sort of finally to the pit lane. He's the last car right, and now it's a straight bait to the checkered flag. Now Rage trying to get through on XL Tin Can, but Tin Can has enough in his hand. He's got good straight line speed. I think he's had that all evening to keep in front then. Semi fastest lap, he's round the back of Bree, and then they both chase up to Kobe, and that's a really tight battle out there on the road. Semi to the inside line of Bree, and these guys are teammates, but they're still looking to go at it out there on the road. Then Rage now looking at Tin Can, and Tin Can's way through turn 2, and Rage getting alongside, not quite, but he still has the Renault all linked up. Can he get a run up the hill towards turn 4? Tin Can will again hold on to it. Semi now allowed through by Bree up tonight, and continuing the charge. He's getting placed on penalties as it stands with soft tires underneath him. Can he find a little bit more? Can he fly even higher in that Mercedes at the moment? They're chasing down Kobe now, just out in front of the Haas then, but the extra tyre grip will be a good asset to try and carry Semi through. Stop keeping an eye and updating on this sleep battle, but Lando has come under zero pressure. He has driven so cleanly at the front of the race, and currently England 1 with 3 drivers inside the top 5. They have driven imperiously here tonight, and they've done exactly what they needed to do to get through into that best of the rest final. But even so, one of their drivers, Tin Can, is going to be under threat. Rage has lined him up, then he's looking for a way through for the last few laps, and on the rear wing of the Renault, you can see the overtake coming through for Tin Can. He knows the threat, he knows the danger from behind, but is that danger going to be inevitable? To the inside lane Rage goes. Can he sweep through on Tin Can, who's pinches him tight to the inside of turn 1 then, and cannot get through. Michael around behind and Rage Waving is furious with the defence. He will maintain P6 from Michael in behind and further down the road then Bree on the back of Kobe. Simi got through that. He runs 8th and now trying to chase down Michael and the entire train up in front. Top 5 now the question. Round goes Kobe, goes to turn 3. Kobe into the wall. Oh dear. The second time he's thrown tonight. And out of the race altogether. Belgium left with one driver, Rage, who's had such a good evening himself, but ultimately just not kind of having enough points coming for the rest of the team. He is looking like these guys are going to get eliminated fairly handily as it stands, maybe even bottom of the group. Might head to the border at the moment as Mantusen is around and that's coming out of turn 8. I'm not exactly sure what's happening. He has been around and saw him there out to the outside. He loses his front wing altogether. Yellow's down, the field being broken up here in this 14th lap. And so it is absolutely manic out there. Mantusen out of the running. And Sonny Round, he's had enough as well tonight, so unfortunately we only have 11 cars still left within the Hungarian Grand Prix race with a penalty. Now he's going for the move on Tenkan. Does he finally get through this time on the Renault, diving to the inside line? Tenkan trying to hold the outside line, but it is not going to be enough and he cannot hold on to it. Through goes Rage, but that penalty is going to hold it back. Then Michael in ahead trying to get a move done as well there with Tenkan lined up. But at the moment the Renault is still getting that 5th place on penalties as it stands and still getting 3 England 1 drivers that's in the top 5. And that's Hungarian Grand Prix, but can Semi ruin the party? Can Bree go with it? These guys are catching rapidly. Lando at the front with a penalty. That's pretty much the only mistake we've seen him make all night. He is 6 seconds clear though. Fairly pointless that he's picked up that penalty. He can just cruise through to the checkered flag. You can see him running out right at a turn 12, but he can drive as he wishes to. He is well clear at the moment and searching for another race factory repeat. Chasing him home. Slash again has not quite been able to live with the pace and has actually got Ryan Malta right there with him then. And that's battle over P3, P4, they're going to look to go at it out there on the road. That as we come through with 4 to go here in the Hungarian race. 4 laps to go for the evening and now Ryan Malta trying to get towards MMA Slash and look for that podium out on track. But I think the Slash will hold on to it just for now. But is he going to be able to hold back the intentions of the Mercedes driver who is right up behind him? Michael now attacking Tenkan. Tenkan struggling for pace in these closing laps. And with no DRS, then Michael is eager to go on the attack on XL Tenkan late in the day, but cannot quite get through for the moment. Then Tenkan will hold on to the position. Semi as well now, right with him. Fresh soft tires now coming through, but are those soft tires going to hold off? Will the grip still be there to the checkered flag now? He has got Michael lined up and looking for a way through then. Tenkan holding on nicely at the front there. You can see Rage moving away now. 1.2 seconds clear now and extending. So now Tenkan is isolated, exposed to attack from the 2 drivers chasing them behind. It's Semi that really has the best chance of gaining from this. So with Michael's penalty, he can really wrap up in a much better race so far. Despite Mantusen, right, Malta 1 have had a much better showing so far. And the second race of the Hungarian. Can Semi push it up a little bit higher then. It's going to be Michael and Tenkan to beat, and he is in range of Rage for the moment, but Rage is showing some good pace. Up in the front of the train, extending that gap then. 1.5 seconds and now standing there is now Ryan Malden looking for 3rd place. The inside lane of turn 1. He is pinched, he is squeezed by Slash, but it's not enough to hold the Mercedes back. Brilliant from Ryan Malden moving through the Michael to the outside lane of Tenkan looking for the switchback. Doing the over and under through the exit then with DRS tries to get up alongside the Renault then. And they fight for the apex of turn 2, but the inside line is with Tenkan. Can Michael sweep on the outside? There's contact! And now, back goes the Racing Point. Didn't get a good view of that, but then Michael, oh no, going out. And that is going to essentially end the hopes and dreams of Malta 2. They just haven't had it all their own way in this race, and now they occupy most of the lower positions. And that's Grand Prix. You can see Semi running off the track in front, lucky not to get a penalty. He's still got a chance to get through Tenkan, and he's not far off Rage either. But he's going to put in a big shift here now as we come up with 2 laps to go. Lando late, 6.6 clear. Continuing to push clear at the far of the race then. He leads emphatically. Right now moving past Michael. Michael letting these guys through. Gutting. Absolutely gutting. That he's come to blows then, and he's going to have to try and get fresh tires on fresh one from mine. Though he's going to stay out, but he's got pretty much nothing to lose. He might as well, actually. Just go for fastest lap. But it looks like he is going to stay and honor it to the checkered flag. There were just 2 to go. As now the race looks to be stagnating at the moment then. Looks like everyone is fairly content to set in position. So we may have still a go at Tin Can. It's got that outside chance of a top 5 still if he really puts together those last few laps. But I think that those soft tyres are just starting to degrade and getting away from the Maltese driver now, who is slipping greatly through the order. But Lando driving home. Slash still up for that podium. Ryan Malta's showing some great pace in this back half of the race, but it's not quite going to be enough to get it. But I think that Malta 2, or Malta 1 I should say, with this race might be able to get second place overall in the group. I think they are looking to be headed for it at the moment. I don't think there's any doubt about what team's winning it. XL Lando over the line. And I think we're just going to track the McLaren through as it looks like this race at last beginning to settle down. This evening beginning to settle down at the end as my voice has been threatening to get away from me, so I'll be rather pleased just to run it through this final lap then. And what can you say of XL Lando? I've not given him much airtime in this race, in this entire broadcast, this entire session. But I tell you what, frankly, he hasn't needed it. He has been utterly dominant, a cut above, a class above, all the way through tonight. He still has to see that. No, he spends on the final lap. He resets the track. That is a commentator's curse if I've ever seen it. He resets, and that's recorded on stream. Toby's now with him, and he would have relinquished that lead surely if he hadn't reset the track then. And so that's some controversy late in the day. Then Lando is going to win this race on track. I don't think it's going to matter in the team standings as it stands. But Lando, just as I was bringing him up, there he goes then. Around he goes. But he will cross the lane first on track. The Halyards going out right at the end. That's it through turn 5. And what has turned out to be a race of attrition tonight. XL Lando to the last corner. There might be some interesting things in the stewards. There might be a point penalty for England 1, but I don't think it's going to matter. Lando crosses first. Total P's is P2. Ryan Malta, great drive from him. He does get P3 in the end, but MMA Slash well gained from that. And we'll take the podium in the end, and Rage will come through and maintain that 5th place there. Tin Can behind has got a penalty last minute, and so he might drop out, and then Simi is gaining. He'll get through this bridge up through as well. Not quite, just a 10th shy. Ryan is P9, and Michael with late damage crosses last in the race. And so that is it for Bahrain and for Hungary. And I think it's safe to say that it is going to be England 1 progressing with a double victory of XL Lando. Bit of controversy at the end, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference in the end. I don't think Total P's or anyone else will really be bothered. But my tentative team order for this, I'd say will probably be, I'm expecting, obviously I believe England 1 have won it. I believe Malta 1 have got second, Malta 2 third. That's tentative. I think the Malta teams can flip-flop back and forth. I think that Total P's on his own might have outscored the Belgium team, so that's actually a really good evening for Total P's. He drove fantastically, just unfortunate they didn't have more support here tonight. But I think he still managed to get 4th overall, and Belgium, unfortunately, bowing out then. Belgium won, bowing out of the tournament, I believe, as the second lowest placed team. Belgium not having a good time of it, really, in general. Just didn't quite come together for them. I've already run through the results. I don't think there's really much point in, but you can see all the DNS back then. We saw Haller out in the last lap. We saw Sonev's AI car driving around him, man. Dusnator, Kobe, Glanta and Epic also not quite seeing out the checkered flag. But that is now all the racing in the books. It's been a pleasure commentating yet again. And be sure to tune in to the finals. Of course, you're going to get that top split finals going throughout. Also, beware, because we do have some live races right now here in LRNC 2nd edition. At the moment, it is the 3-1 race and the second 3.2 race. And so you've got the top split in that Champions bracket, and also the second group of teams from the best of the rest bracket. So be sure to tune into those. But the final is going to be next up. You're going to have the top 5 teams in the complete Champions final and the best of the rest final. We're going to have the other 5 teams which we now know should include England 1. And we're going to see as well who will progress from the best of the rest bracket. But I think that is going to be it for tonight. Just a few final words. I will say that driver of the day obviously has to go to Lando, and team of the day I think has to go to England one. I've given honourable mention to both the Malta teams just for inter-team coordination. I think Malta one in particular actually worked really well as a team, so they certainly get a really good shout there. But I think that's going to be it for the action here tonight. Thank you, as always, very much for tuning into the stream. And that is going to be it for tonight. So, with everything said and done then, I've been Daniel Horgard running you through proceedings tonight. And until next time, we'll see you later.